I genuinely love to sit here and tell you that me and Cory planned this out, that, we were that thoughtful that we would wait until today to release this video, because ultimately that means you've already watched every other Villa content creator's videos, and effectively we are the last ones left. And with it being international break, you want some Villa content. So you know what? Oh, you know what? Let's just give this a watch. But no, sadly not. He was absolutely hungover, hanging out his arse, our German porn star friend over here, braving his Movember look. We are here to discuss Aston Villa and what has been going on over the last few days. We probably will have a little brief touch on Maccabi Tel Aviv, not going to go over it too much, but this is a great opportunity to just, again, relive that Bournemouth game because we were fantastic. So welcome back to the latest episode of B6 and Beyond. You're here with me and Cory. As always, just a reminder, we do have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or a shirt of your choice. All that you need to do to qualify is hit that subscribe button. We give that away every 500 subscribers, and we are getting close to the next giveaway, so don't miss out on that one. Cory, how you doing, mate? You recovered from your hangover?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better now, thank you, Ben. How about yourself, mate?
I'm sound. Had a good birthday. Got spoilt, so yeah, it's been a good weekend. Villa winning, Newcastle losing. What? Who said that? Anyway, I'm here to talk about the mighty Aston Villa. What a performance! I'm not sure how much you was able to take in the game because, by the sounds of it from our messages, you were an absolute mess. But we were.
I mean, I was still drunk whilst it was on, but I remember it.
God, I dread to think how much you actually drank. Anyway, let's not talk about that. We might have kids watching the show. Yeah, we were brilliant from start to finish. We're talking about a Bournemouth side that are a top side. Iraola's got them so tactically well drilled, and we battered them. And it was an Unai Emery masterclass from minute one.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, really. I think a lot of Villa fans probably looked at the last couple of games and thought, we'll probably get 3 points against Liverpool and draw and lose to Bournemouth. Just the way it was sort of looking in that sort of sense that we always seem to struggle against teams like Bournemouth. And Bournemouth, they're a good side, don't get me wrong, but like you say, from minute one, it was just pure domination. And Unai Emery got everything right. And we've sat here before when he's got things wrong, and we've called him out for it. Not because we don't like him, but you have to call people out. But from Sunday's performance, he got everything spot on.
Yeah, I thought, there was man of the match performances all over the pitch, and again, for a bit of context, me and Cory haven't planned anything like a structure to this video. We are literally just coming on and just talking, just pure vibes, have a chat about the Villa. So hopefully you enjoy this sort of format that we do. If you don't, then let us know. If you'd rather have it more structured, drop us a comment and let me know. But this is kind of just how we want to have a little chat about the Villa. So I say, man of the match performances all over the pitch. As much as I don't like him, Emiliano Martinez, I'm sure we'll touch on him shortly. He was brilliant. So the goal, Emi Buendia, what a free kick.
Yeah,
the first one at Villa Park since Luca Dean against Manchester United?
Douglas Luiz against Spurs.
I don't even remember that one.
That was when we beat Spurs to get Conference League football.
Right, okay. Yeah, I can't even remember that free kick, to be honest with you.
But must be you as a lucky charm, Ben. That's the second free kick you've seen Buendia score this season, isn't it?
Yeah, he scored against Wolves.
Scored the one in pre-season.
And to be honest, it was pretty similar. It was a similar sort of range, technique, absolutely everything. So clearly,
do you know what? I've seen a lot of people, sorry to jump in on you, I've seen a lot of people sort of saying to Petrovic, like, why is he showing him that much of the goal and this, that and the other, and it's not completely down. The amount
from that range.
The dip he gets, because he gets a lot of height on that ball.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to get that up and down, it's not a short wall either.
No, it's just a fantastic strike. Like, I'm sorry, but to get it up and down from that range, he's like knuckleballed it. It was just ridiculous technique.
Yeah.
If any player scores a goal like that, you can't be blaming the goalkeeper for that. Yes, he could, but he could be a little bit more central. But usually at that position, usually players just look. Well, look, prime example. They had their free kick just before, similar sort of position, and they opted to absolutely try and thunder it towards the goal. We've had it, and our players went for more of a technical shot, and it's gone in. So I could see exactly why Petrovic would be thinking that we wouldn't look to do that, which is probably maybe a bit silly considering if you would think that the tapes would be there and they would have studied these sort of things with him already scoring one in pre-season, so he's clearly got it in his locker. But he didn't, thankfully, and 1-0 Aston Villa, and I'd say we did look really good. They had a little moment. I'll tell you what. Right, so Amadou Onana, let's have a brief chat about him. So, literally within minutes, you saw the best and the worst of Amadou Onana. So he got dispossessed for that free kick, the one that they had.
Yes.
Literally just before that, he got dispossessed in possession in the middle of the park by Alex Scott, the lad who's going on to Love Island. Not Love Island, sorry. I'm a Celeb. I'm a Celeb. It is on my Celeb, isn't it?
Yeah,
Alex Scott. Anyway, shit joke by me. Yeah,
I thought you were trying to make a joke about him going to the England camp and calling it Love Island or something, but
no, it's the jungle. He's going. Yeah, that's the camp he's going into. He nicked the ball off Alex Scott and off Amadou Onana. Sorry, and then Onana then running back, he's made the foul on the edge of the box, and that was the worst bit of Onana, not quite knowing what was around him, bit lackadaisical in possession, and then next thing you know, he picks the ball up on the edge of the box and absolutely thunders it past the goalkeeper. It was a lovely strike as well, really was. That was his first goal of the season as well, which I do think he needs to start chipping in with a few more goals and assists. Don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, he's a midfielder. And if Boubacar Kamara is that man sitting deeper, then you kind of need a little bit more from Onana sometimes. And I've been really impressed with Onana. I think he's been very, very good recently.
I think he's been phenomenal. I think, as you say, obviously, his first goal of the season, it's a deja vu from the young boys' goal that he scored last year in the Champions League. He's got it in his locker. He's very capable of those sort of goals. But as you say, he seemed alert, other than obviously, I think once he lost the ball, after that, I don't remember him really putting much wrong. And something that's gone really under the radar as well is the penalty save from Martinez. Onana's the first one to react. And he's the one who clears that ball out for a cut. Because if he doesn't react, Bournemouth get another chance at pardon the pun, but a bite of the cherry. But honestly,
dad jokes are at large today, ladies and gentlemen.
But I thought he was brilliant in midfield. And if I'm being honest, and I love Boubacar Kamara, but I think maybe the Liverpool game, he wasn't at his best. Onana sort of stepped up a bit, I think, in the game on the weekend. Kamara was decent, but again, he was sort of giving the ball away occasionally, and he did it in the Europa League as well, with a bit sloppy passing, that sort of thing. But Onana stepped up, so it was meant that when we are sort of playing those balls and losing the ball, you're not worrying too much.
Do you know what's mental? I've said it for a couple of seasons, regardless if some of them aren't performing out each time. But the depth, and you saw it from our substitutions, but our depth, especially in that middle of the park, is insane. Let's look at our top three: Tielemans, Onana, and then Kamara. Not in any particular order. But then you've got Lamar Bogard, Ross Barkley. There's 5.
Yeah.
John McGinn.
Yeah,
I know he probably is better suited in those attacking areas, but he can play anywhere. That's 6 players that are very, very, very good level, and Bogard's potentially arguably one of the worst ones, and he's a young lad developing and getting better and better each week. And Ross Barkley, I love Barkley. I do. I really like Barkley. When he's coming off the bench, he looks so assured.
I think as well, a key thing to mention, obviously, you mentioned about the depth, but you look at, we made a triple substitution at 2-0, and the triple substitution was Tielemans, Marlon, and Barkley that came on. It was Tielemans, Sancho, Marlon that came on, and Barkley came on as well after. All 4 of them.
Was Marlon in the first round of subs?
I'm not sure if he was first round, but he came on as a sub.
He did come on.
But all 4 of those players had a say in the goals when they came on. Barkley obviously got a goal. Marlon gets the goal. Yuri Tielemans the assist. Sancho probably would have had an assist if it didn't come off Marlon from Tielemans' strike, because I think Tielemans' strike was probably going in the bottom corner.
He loves a goal against Bournemouth, Ross Barkley. And he scored pretty much
the same goal as well.
Yeah, from the other end, weren't he? He was in front of the alt end.
Yeah.
I was at that game as well. That was
it's a really good header as well. I think it's it's such an underrated technique being able to just sort of flick a ball. I know it sounds stupid because they're professional footballers, but for him,
no, because it's coming in at pace as well.
That's the thing. You've got to be able to direct it.
Yeah, it's a great goal.
I wanted to touch on quickly one thing that I loved was Morgan Rogers. I don't know. You said you were watching the highlights before we got onto this. If you watch the highlights back, Morgan Rogers, every goal, before the ball's even hit the net, every goal he's got his hand in the air celebrating.
Was it? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so when Deer hit it, he had his hand up. When Onana hit it, he's had his hand up. When Barkley got the header, he's celebrating before it's even gone in the net. And then obviously the Marlon one, he didn't see till late, but he just seemed to be loving it.
It just seems that at the moment we're going into each other. Like we have done like these podcasts now since the start of the season, and like the first international break we went into, we were on a downer. We need this international break. The next one, we didn't want this international break to come. This one, we don't want this international break to come. It just seems like we're getting better and better and better, and we're still not at full swing. We're not at full tilt. Jadon Sancho still isn't up to speed. He's not where we need him to be, and I think he will get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Tielemans just getting back in the squad. Watkins isn't firing yet.
As I say,
Rodgers isn't at full tilt yet.
No. Watkins, again, obviously now not playing for England in this international break, I think could do him the world of good. I think he just needs that break. Another one, I know we mention him every episode, and who knows what's actually going on, but fingers crossed your theory is correct, Ben, about Harvey Elliott, and come January time, we actually see him start to play games. Because again, if that is the case and we are just sort of not playing him for the money purposes, then you've got another player there coming in on full fitness who is capable of special things as well.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because a little sort of that. Obviously, that's my theory. I genuinely think that it's all financially driven, and we're not signing him because effectively PSR UEFA accounting regulations runs from January to January, but we know that we was like very tight with the SCR situation. So if we was to play the 10 games and trigger that, then potentially it could breach that, and that means we could get a fine and then potentially kicked out of Europe. So maybe the club are waiting for it to be put into the next financial period, and then it doesn't hurt us as much. Again, this is just speculation, but like what I said on TikTok is, it just seems a little bit weird that the fact that Emery's not spoken negatively about the player's not spoken negatively about the club, and ultimately in the modern day, if there was a situation like that, like it would have got leaked to social media. Somebody would know about it, especially like in the world of social media with the likes of Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein. Someone would have found out, and no one has said boo to a goose. So for me, there's got to be something into it, but. I love Harvey Elliott, and I was a massive advocate for him coming, and I still want him to be at Aston Villa. But a little bit of me thinks, like, especially with the upturning Buendia, do we need him?
It's a great question. I think the only way I see him...
Sorry, you think 35 mil, pal? Like, surely there's other areas of the squad we could put that money.
Well, with Morgan Rogers signing a new contract as well today, it's 35 million seems a lot of money to spend on someone who could potentially be sat on the bench. The only thing, but again, even if we did what I'm about to say, it doesn't make any sense to sort of do it come the end of the season. I was going to say maybe send someone like Evan Gasson on loan somewhere because he's been useless. Well, not useless, that's a bit harsh, but he's not been great.
Well, it's about right.
Yeah, get him some game time, that sort of thing. But then even then, if you do that, unless we're going to sell him at the end of the season to bring Harvey Elliott.
Whilst we're on Evan Gasson, like, look, I'm going to be honest, I'm a Villa fan. I'm a football fan. I am fickle. If one of my players plays well after I've called him shit, I will be happy about it. So let's name them. Matty Cash, I've dug him out before. Emi Martinez, I've hammered him before. More so not because he's saying he's shit, more so because of his attitude. I'm pretty sure there's a few others that I've probably
Pau Torres we've both done at the start of the season.
We've both dug Pau Torres out. But ultimately, they're playing well for Aston Villa, and that is all what... Onana, another prime example. And we will cheer them on, and we will be happy if they play well, because ultimately, whilst they are wearing that football shirt of Aston Villa, we want them to do well. Usually, if we're slagging any of them off, it is because there is a reason to slag them off. It's not because we hate them as players or we hate them as individuals. We just don't think they're performing to the level that they should be, and that is where we're at with Evan Gesson at the moment. He's not doing what we bought him for. We bought him to affect the area and attacking area, affect the play in the attacking area. Sorry, and we're not seeing any of that. All that we're seeing is him running into blind alleyways. He actually looks like he can't run. He looks like he's running in Timberlands, and he does. He looks slow, man. He looks slow, very very slow, and he looks like when he's playing, he's like literally going around like the clouds are in the air, and he's looking at them like he ain't got a clue what's going on, what time of day it is. What he's doing well.
Strides of Leon Bailey last season, really, where everything's clicking on the pitch except for one player. And that's what Leon Bailey was last year. I think at Villa we were playing really good football, we were playing some nice stuff, and it was just Leon Bailey just couldn't seem to get up to that level. And that's what's happening with Gesson at the moment. I think every other Villa player is stepping up. You've got, listen, people have their moans, and so I saw people moan about Watkins again over the weekend, but he got man of the match.
I was going to say, I thought Watkins was good. I did, to be honest with you.
No, he did. He got man of the match. So it says a lot. I thought he played well as well, but people moan because he's not putting the ball in the back of net. We've got Marlon coming off the bench and doing that for us. Like,
I think he got a bit unlucky though with certain moments in that game.
Well, he did. I mean, one was a great save from Petrovic to deny him a goal.
The header across from Pau Torres, which was literally going to him. It's just, and that was good
brilliant defending. It's fine margins, and I think
of course it is.
When you're a striker, you just need those sort of things to go for you, and at the moment, it's not going for him. I think he probably would have liked to have been on the pitch, and he's probably thinking to himself, why am I not getting those like little lucky flicks that Marlon's getting, and so to speak. But at the end of the day, he'll keep grafting, and that's who Ollie Watkins is. Yeah,
the thing is, like, people are screaming for Marlon over Watkins now, and I am going to be the first Villa fan to say, no. I love Marlon, and I'll sit here and I'll argue with anyone until I'm blue in the face. Ollie Watkins is a better footballer than Daniel Marlon. In terms of an actual out and out number 9, Watkins, he can run a game from the forward area. He's pressing. He runs down the channel. His link play, his hold up play, literally everything that you need from a top striker in a Unai Emery system. Ollie Watkins gives us, apart from goals at the moment, but 15 Premier League goals in 3 consecutive seasons says he does get goals. Yes, he hasn't scored many now, but I still would not be surprised, because he's that kind of streaky player. If he gets up and running and goes on a run of scoring like in 7-8 games in a row, we've got Brighton coming up.
He loves a goal.
He loves a goal against Brighton.
But the thing is, I was about to say, actually, it's funny you mentioned Brighton, because I was just about to mention, we've seen it so many times where he'll go and bag himself a hat-trick in a game, and that gets him going. Brighton, a couple of seasons ago, when he got himself a hat-trick in that game to get himself going. There was a West Ham a couple of years ago where I think he got 2 to get himself going, and the Liverpool game when he got his first goals for Villa, he got a hat-trick in that game. Like, that is Ollie Watkins. I mean, like you say, we've got Leeds coming up next, Brighton coming up, teams there where they are struggling to stop the ball from going in the net. If Watkins can get himself a goal in those games, there's a good chance he can go and get 2 or 3 in those games as well.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I'm gonna try and get some tickets for the Leeds game. I was offered one for Brighton earlier, so I think I'm going down to Brighton. I'm just really happy at the moment. I'm really confident where we're going, and I think we can have a really good, successful season. Yeah. I think we have to speak about Emi Martinez. We do. We've mentioned him briefly about digging players out, and if they play well, he was good this weekend against Bournemouth. He really was in the big moments where we needed him to be him and him to show the ability that he does have. He showed it in abundance this weekend. The penalty save, the save where he tips it over the bar from the deflected shot from Alex Scott was phenomenal.
I genuinely thought, I was saying this to my dad, I said, when I first saw it, I thought it hit the bar. I thought he was just doing like his typical Emi Martinez, bit of shithousery, sort of pretending to dive, and it hit the bar. And then when I saw the replay back, I was like, oh, that is an unbelievable save.
Yeah, it was class. It was class, and then he was real for me. He commanded his box very well, cut set pieces. There was the one where they hit the post from the header, which may have been a foul on him. It might have been a bit soft, but in general, he was controlling his box, claiming the ball when you need to, and he just took all the pressure. And I think that penalty save, that won the game for us, because if they make it 2-1 at that point, it could have been a completely different game.
Well, it's the first time this season as well. Obviously, I always like to bring up Instagram posts and stuff like that. It's the first time he's actually interacted with the Villa fans as well. He put up the Villa at the end of it for the first time this season, his post. And I think you could tell it was like a full circle moment where when that penalty was given against us, everyone's there behind Martinez. Martinez was geeing up the crowd. He wanted the crowd on his side. And in that moment, it was just... we're watching it, you just didn't think that they were going to score it. You just knew Martinez had won that battle.
Yeah, I said it. So for any of you that are watching it right now, if you haven't already, I have done a match day vlog on the game. Go and give that a watch after you've watched this, and you'll hear me literally whilst the penalties been given and about to be taken. I said, if there's any goalkeeper in the world that you want to be in goal to save a penalty, and I'll say that about literally any goalkeeper in the world. He's the one, from a penalty shootout or a penalty, because he's such a shithouse and he's so good at saving penalties. He just gets in people's heads. He's fantastic to have from the penalty spot, isn't he? He really is.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we did a couple of TikToks. I think it was ranking sort of players in each position and that sort of thing. And I had Martinez in my top 5 goalkeepers in the league still, but I had him at 5th. And I think you look at Martinez and say, listen, if anybody wants to, if sees this in clips or whatever, do what you want. On his day, I genuinely think he's the best goalkeeper in the world still. And I will say that forever. Because on his day, he is the best goalkeeper in the world. He gets in players' heads. He knows what he's doing. He makes the goal look so small just by his presence being there. But obviously, he built himself that bridge from when he was twerking for Man United in the summer. Hopefully now that's behind him. Maybe he signs a new contract or whatever.
We'll see what happens in January.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see him leaving in January. That's not going to happen unless it's some sort of pre-contract agreement for the summer, but he won't be going anywhere in January.
I don't know who needs him.
I don't think anyone would want. Well, they want him, but...
Like who? Spurs probably the only one from Premier League.
That's what I was thinking. Spurs, but he wouldn't want to go to there.
Why would he go Spurs? With all due respect, we're a bigger club than Spurs, arguably.
It's not even that as such. It's just obviously
he's not going to go there and win anything.
He's no different from playing with us other than obviously the Champions League football for another few weeks.
They won't have it. I was going to say they won't have it next season.
So again, maybe Chelsea, but other than that.
He's got a chance of winning something at Villa this year if he stays and he actually plays well for the full season.
That's the thing. I think, listen, we know he can go down as a cult hero even after what's happened. And I do want to speak about a certain cult hero, someone who you mentioned earlier off of this podcast, Ben, Luca Digne. Again,
I love him.
Mr. Consistent. It seems to be that every week he's in that Who Scored Team of the Week. Or he's like 0.1 away from being in it.
Literally, mate. Honestly, I know I've just said about what I said about Marlon and Watkins. That's my 2 arguments, Digne and Maatsen, because you'll have fans screaming for Maatsen, screaming for Marlon, and I'm sorry, but Luca Digne and Digne, like I always get told off when I say Luca Digne. Him and Ollie Watkins just don't let Emery down. They produce. Obviously, I know Watkins got dropped a little bit last season for Marcus Rashford, but when you got a player of the level of and the ilk of quality of Marcus Rashford, that's different. That's a different conversation. But I love Luca Digne. I think Luca Digne has been so consistent since Emery has come in. Do you see us? Sorry, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, whether people like it or not, he's quietly been one of, if not the best left back in the Premier League the last few seasons.
By a country mile.
I mean, if I look at the Premier League right now, and you were to say, pick a left back who you'd want in your team, I'm picking him. And I don't mean overall, because obviously there are players out there who are probably better overall than him. But in terms of football right now, is Livramento playing better than him? No. Is Lewis Hall playing? No.
Right this now, the only person that you could remotely have an argument against him is probably Calafiori from Arsenal.
Yeah, true.
Because Arsenal flying, they've got the best defence in the league.
Yeah.
Probably the best defence in the world. But if you look at the others, Liverpool, Robertson, no. Kirkes, no. Absolutely. Man City, Ait Nori, they
Nico
brought in and he's
O'Reilly,
hardly
or
played. Nico
yeah.
O'Reilly, I wouldn't have, So I just, yeah, I'm with you, 100%. Let's back the Luca Digne train.
It's more the fact that Luca Digne is going to be pulling out 7 out of 10 performances
Every
week,
week.
minimum. He might have the one game where he has a bit of a stinker, but at the end of the day, he's 33 years old. He shouldn't be able to defend some of the players he defends so easily.
And he's making it look easy some of the times.
Yeah.
I'd say defensively, I feel like he's improved. He's took his game. This is the best. There's a reason why he's still getting in the France squad.
Yeah.
At his age.
Another player to mention, I know you wanted to say something, Ben, so I don't know if you want to jump in before I mention someone else.
Oh, it's all right. You do that first.
Another player who does need mention and gets mentioned every week, and for me, is probably on form one of the best players in the league at the moment. Matty Cash, yet again. Defensively now as well. His contributions defensively, he's being brilliant. I mean, he was up against Cliver, Semenyo, Tavernier at times. All of them were trying to have a go at him, and he was just staying.
On that, it's funny you say that because Jacob Tanswell put a tweet out, and I didn't think about it at the time when I was at the game because you don't really think about these things, but obviously he's there to report on the game and look at it from a different light. It's quite funny.
Bournemouth as well.
It's quite funny how Bournemouth put Semenyo on Matty Cash, but then they switched him over to Luca Digne because he was getting absolutely no change out of Matty Cash.
The thing is, I don't know if you saw the interview that Matty Cash did. They said to him, they're like, "What do you think it is that sort of made him play better this season?" He basically said he stopped being a bit of a brat. He said, his discipline, he knew, when he'd be on the pitch, he'd lose his head. If things went wrong, he'd start fouling people. He was just getting angry. And Emery's basically said to him, "You're a good player. Stop that, and you'll be fine." And you can see it this season. He's not picking up as many yellow cards and stuff like that. He's playing consistent football, and he's really focusing on that.
He seems to have given himself half a yard as well. He used to be a bit dive into challenges a little bit more. He just seems a bit more, composed defensively. If a player for example, Doku, when he comes to Villa Park and he come off the bench, he knows Doku's going to burn him, so he gives Doku that he has that half a yard on him, and he weren't doing that before. He'd be getting touch tight, and these players like a Doku would just roll him and he'd be gone.
I mean, that's a perfect example. Jeremy Doku, we saw what he did on the weekend. It absolutely tore Liverpool to shreds. And he has been really good this season, Jeremy Doku.
But not my mate, Matty Cash. Love
exactly.
Matty Cash, I do. I might get him on the top.
Do it.
It'd be funny, that would. I think that would actually wind a few people up. Anyway, what I was going to say is, where do you think we strengthen in January? Surely we got to do some movement. We
need to get. Listen, like you say, I'll back Ollie Watkins and you'll back Ollie Watkins, but Marlon's best position is in a striker. So if Watkins isn't firing or Watkins picks up an injury or whatever, you need someone who can go into that position who's going to score you goals.
Do we get a loan or do we go and get an expensive one?
From what I was reading, apparently we're ready to throw a lot of money at a good striker.
Who's out there, though?
It will be Samu, I'd imagine.
That's the one that's linked.
But the issue there is, as we said in the summer window, he's a very good striker by the looks of it. But it's a big risk to take on in January and say, right, you've got to come in and hit the ground running.
Bring back John Duran.
That's the thing, though. You look at the strikers that have been brought into the league this season. There's not many that are performing. Nick Voltemade is performing well. Fair play to him. Isak's done nothing. Ekatike's had an alright start to the season. Cunha's not really done much.
Well, it's going to be an interesting January transfer window. We've still got a fair good few weeks until that comes around. A big run over Christmas with some difficult fixtures. I know we've got, just to name a few, Leeds away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away, Wolves at home. I think they're our next four. If I might be wrong, might be right. Obviously, we've got the Europa League games in that as well. Young boys, some winnable games. Why can't Aston Villa be that team that start Arsenal's bottle going?
I've said it. I've said that I think if anybody's going to cost Arsenal the league this season, it'll be us.
I think we beat them at Villa Park.
I think we do as well.
God, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Right, is there anything more you want to cover, mate?
No, just that Villa are massive. We're going to be top at Christmas and we're winning the lot.
Do you feel we've spoken enough about Emi Martin? Like, I think we have. I just want to say he was brilliant. He was brilliant. I still question his attitude and his commitment to the club, but he was class. But yeah, you are right. We are winning the lot. We've already got our ticket, our hotel booked for Istanbul. We're going to win the Europa League. We're going to win the Premier League. I can't even say it with a straight face.
We're going to win the FA Cup. We're going to be reinstated into the League Cup to go and win that again.
Villa are massive, man. I love the Villa. What a time to be alive. On that note, if you have made it this far, make sure to hit a like on the video and subscribe to us, and we will be back with more riveting Villa content in the near future. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.